100 million acres of farmland, the United States tirelessly produces over $170 billion worth of crops each year to feed the world. Here, modern agriculture is not just about hard work, but a harmony between human skill and technological intelligence. Machines and people operate as one, creating harvests that are precise, productive, and sustainable. Today, we'll journey through America's greatest harvests to see that behind every seed lies an ever-evolving agricultural system, one that never stops advancing. Though it doesn't bring in massive profits like Brussels sprouts, the red radish remains a key player in the work calendar of California farmers. With just 30 days from sowing to harvest, they can quickly rotate their fields for the next crop. When harvest season arrives, each worker hand pulls the radishes, selects those meeting the standard 2-3 centimeter size, and ties them into bunches with twine to sell fresh. Afterwards, they carry heavy baskets filled with radishes to the trucks, which deliver them directly to farmers' markets across California. Inside the modern greenhouse, the red radish harvest is almost fully automated. The specialized machine moves slowly between perfectly aligned rows, using an optical sensor system and parallel grippers to lift clusters of radishes that meet the ideal size, each one handled within seconds. Once more than 10 roots are collected, the auto-bundling unit tightens a nylon band, forming neat, uniform bunches as if measured by machine. The system can process up to 1 ton of radishes per hour, reducing manual labor by more than 80%. Workers only need to place the finished bundles onto trays and move them to the washing and packaging area. In just a few minutes, hundreds of bright red, glossy, freshly harvested radish bunches are ready to leave the greenhouse. Let's take a quick trip to Japan, to Yamagata, where locals are preparing for a delicacy that comes only once a year: the snow-aged apple. At the end of December, when the Fuji apple season has just ended, the finest apples are hand-picked, placed in plastic baskets, and transported to the snow-covered mountains. There, farmers carefully stack them in layers and use snow blowers and excavators to bury them under 2 to 3 meters of snow, before securing the pile with windproof tarps. By late March to early April, as the snow begins to melt, the farmers return to uncover the white layer, dig out each tray of apples, and sort them by quality. These apples, which have hibernated for 3 months, are known as Yuki Ringo, snow apples, sold at a higher price and often used for fresh juice, premium desserts, or spring gift boxes. If you're an apple lover, this is one you'll never forget. The flavor of Yuki Ringo is refreshingly crisp, with a subtle honey-like aroma. Thanks to 3 months of winter sleep under deep snow, its acidity softens while natural sugars rise, creating a perfect balance between sweetness and tang. In the past, maple sap was collected in buckets hung directly on tree trunks. That method worked fine for a few dozen trees. But in Vermont, where more than 460,000 maple trees are tapped each year, everything had to evolve. From February to April, when warm days and freezing nights caused the sap to flow, workers drill small holes about 2 inches deep into the trunks. Each hole is placed around waist height or slightly above and shifted every year, allowing the trees to heal naturally, meaning a single maple can be tapped for decades without harm. Instead of dripping into buckets, the sap now runs through a network of tubing, stretching for tens of kilometers across the forest. Acting like an artificial circulatory system, small lines draw sap from each tree. Larger ones channel it to a central collection station, and vacuum pumps keep the flow steady, cutting manual labor by up to 80%. Because the tubing system is sealed, the sap never touches air, preserving its natural purity before it's filtered and boiled down into amber maple syrup, the sweet golden icon of North America, with grade A batches fetching as much as $250 per gallon. Highbush blueberry, the variety that makes up around 80% of the world's blueberry acreage and yield, is celebrated for its synchronized fruiting, making it ideal for large-scale mechanical harvesting. Every June, farmers bring out the Oxbow 7440, a true steel giant of the fields. From a distance, the machine resembles a mobile fortress. Its tunnel frame design allows the entire body to pass directly over tall rows of blueberry bushes without pruning or clearing space. Inside, a dual-shaft shaking system reads the plant's density and fruit ripeness, then automatically adjusts vibration frequency to maximize harvest efficiency while minimizing bruising. Thanks to its top-loader system with a capacity of up to 400 kilograms per bin, the machine can run continuously for hours without stopping to unload. A crucial advantage for large farms aiming to push productivity to the limit. Across the wild lowbush blueberry fields of Maine, the grasshopper lowbush harvester stands out as a machine engineered specifically for this unique variety. Plants that grow no taller than an adult's knee, spreading close to the ground in dense, sprawling mats. At the front of the harvester, a mechanical comb assembly with dozens of fine steel tines is precisely calibrated to graze just the top layer of the blueberry bushes, where the ripest fruit is most abundant. A manual adjustment system allows the operator to fine-tune the comb's depth and angle to match the terrain, ensuring the tines sweep only the upper canopy. This prevents root damage or fruit bruising while preserving the lower layer of foliage for the next season's growth. This machine is a perfect example of how technology doesn't just help humans harvest sweetness, but also protects the living legacy of North America's oldest wild blueberry landscapes. Do you think wasabi belongs only to Japan? The truth is, even in North America, where the temperature swings far beyond the ideal 8 to 18 degrees Celsius, farmers have learned to grow and harvest wasabi year-round inside greenhouses that precisely control heat, humidity, and water flow. Gone are the days of farmers wading through icy streams like in Shizuoka. In these modern facilities, wasabi is cultivated on dry gravel beds with a top-down drip irrigation system that keeps the roots cool while minimizing fungal disease. When harvest time comes, workers use small shovels to loosen the base, lift each plant carefully, shake off the gravel, and trim away the leaves and excess roots. Finally, the rhizomes are rinsed gently with low-pressure water to preserve their thin, aromatic skin, the very layer responsible for wasabi's signature sharp, nose-tingling heat. Although its flavor is milder than that of Japan's mineral-rich, stream-grown wasabi, the greenhouse model offers major advantages: lower root rot rates, consistent freshness, and uniform quality during long-distance transport, making it an ideal solution for premium markets in Europe and North America. Custard apple, known locally in India as na or sitafal, is the livelihood of thousands of Indian farmers, yet considered an exotic premium fruit in the eyes of American consumers. Unlike hard-shelled fruits, custard apples bruise easily. Even the slightest pressure can crush their soft, segmented flesh. That's why every harvest begins by hand, following a single golden rule: support first, cut second. Never let the fruit fall freely. When the skin turns from deep green to pale yellow and the segments begin to separate slightly, releasing their sweet aroma, skilled pickers cradle the fruit with 3 fingers. Then cup the stem diagonally, leaving 2 to 3 centimeters attached to protect the delicate skin. In practice, 20 to 30% of the fruits are bruised and discarded before export. This makes the picker's precision more valuable than speed, because just one wrong move or too much pressure can ruin an entire fruit, turning craftsmanship into the most vital part of the harvest. The modern cotton harvester is transforming the fields, helping farmers cut costs by up to 8% through full on-field process optimization. At the front, a synchronized array of rotating drums works on a suction and brush mechanism that gently separates the cotton from its boll without damaging the delicate fibers. The harvested cotton is then carried through a central pneumatic system, where dry leaves and debris are filtered out, leaving behind only pure, fluffy white lint. But the machine's most impressive feature is its automatic module builder. Instead of relying on a separate compactor, the system presses, wraps, and ejects each dense cotton roll, all while the harvester keeps moving. This continuous process not only eliminates intermediate handling, but also reduces fuel consumption by nearly 20% compared to older models, marking a major step forward in efficiency and sustainability for modern cotton farming. Unlike most crops with a fixed harvest schedule, bamboo shoots are the kind that emerge whenever they wish and must be picked right then. Just a few days delay, and the tender sprouts will stretch into bamboo, turn fibrous, and lose nearly all of their culinary value. For underground bamboo species, finding the shoots requires both skill and intuition. Harvesters carefully observe the soil for subtle signs, a slight mound or a fine crack where a shoot is about to emerge. Then, using a sharp knife or small hoe, they slide close to the base and dig at a gentle angle to avoid damaging the young shoot. Each movement must be precise, cutting only the edible portion while leaving the roots intact so the plant can continue to grow for the next season. Have you ever wondered what it's like to harvest fruit 35 meters above the ground, the height of a 10-story building? Let's climb the towering Palmyra palms of Kerala, India, where translucent, juicy fruit flesh waits to be collected. Here, climbing is not just about strength, it's a craft. Some farmers scale the palms bare-handed, gripping the rough trunks and steadying themselves among the hanging clusters, while others rely on support ropes held by teammates below for balance and safety. Armed with long, curved, razor-sharp knives, they slice cleanly through the thick, fibrous stems, careful not to crush the tender fruit inside. On the ground, fallen fruits that have detached naturally are gathered first, while others are cut open manually to extract the pristine white pulp within. When the leaves of the blue agave, the very plant behind Mexico's world-famous tequila, begin to turn silvery gray and droop toward the ground, it signals that the plant has finally matured. After 7 to 9 years of patient growth, the skilled jimadores step in to begin the harvest. Under the scorching sun of the Jalisco highlands, they start by trimming away the tough outer leaves, exposing the swollen heart within. Then, using the koa, a long wooden-handled tool, fitted with a flat, circular steel blade, each jimador severs the roots and pries the dense, heavy core from the soil. Because the koa's edge dulls quickly against the agave's fibrous leaves and gritty base, the blade is sharpened by hand before each new cut, ensuring it slices cleanly without tearing the flesh. Each agave heart, or piña, can weigh up to 100 kilograms, demanding a precise blend of strength and rhythm, a skill honed only by those who have grown up in families devoted to this craft. A veteran jimador can harvest a full-grown agave in under 1 minute, and it's their labor, patience, and mastery that lay the foundation for every bottle of tequila, the golden, smooth spirit that carries the warmth and soul of Mexico to the world. Standing out as one of the most iconic symbols of autumn, the pumpkin becomes the opening character in our harvest journey. Across the United States, with Illinois holding the title of pumpkin capital, vast golden fields come into season from late September to November, just in time for the excitement of Halloween. Fresh pumpkin harvesters use sharp blades to cut through thick stems, while mechanical arms lift the massive pumpkins from the ground and place them onto conveyor belts. Rotating rollers and brushes remove excess soil before the plump pumpkins are neatly deposited into storage bins at the rear. With a continuous rhythm, thousands of pumpkins are gathered within just a few hours. Unlike fresh pumpkin harvesters, pumpkin seed harvesters have a more specialized design. These machines crush and separate the entire fruit directly in the field, sorting out the seeds through screening systems, while the rind and flesh are discharged back onto the soil as organic fertilizer. By combining these two technologies, American farmers not only meet the enormous demand for fresh pumpkins in holiday markets and food production, but also maximize economic value from the seeds, driving annual yields to more than 680,000 metric tons. Farewell to the diligent farmers across the fields of Illinois. Now let us journey to Wisconsin and Massachusetts, where every September, farmers harvest their rewards, glistening like crimson jewels upon the water. Unlike pumpkins, cranberries are harvested using a unique method known as wet harvesting. When the season arrives, farmers flood the bogs with water, then deploy special machines called water reels or egg beaters to stir the vines and loosen the berries. Thanks to tiny air pockets inside, cranberries rise and float, creating a spectacular sight. Thousands of bright red berries drifting like a floating carpet across the water's surface. Next comes the conveyor harvester, a modern harvesting machine that drives directly through the flooded bog. At the front, steel tines sweep the floating berries into the intake, while rotating conveyors lift them up, drain the water, and deposit them straight into boats or bins along the bog's edge. This method accelerates collection, reduces the need for manual boom corralling, and minimizes damage, making it ideal for large-scale cranberry farms in the US and Canada. Much like the bison roaming the Great Plains, the sight of flooded bogs shimmering with cranberries has become an enduring symbol of North America, a living image that captures both its natural abundance and cultural identity. Another approach that is becoming increasingly widespread is the conveyor harvester, which demands an investment of $250,000 to $400,000, but delivers far greater efficiency. At the front, steel tines sweep the floating berries toward the intake, where rotating conveyors lift them up, drain away the excess water, and deposit them directly into waiting boats or bins along the bog's edge. Each year, harvesting 700,000 tons of cranberries can require millions of liters of water, but Ocean Spray, the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the United States, emphasizes that much of this water is reused throughout the season, while accounting for nearly 70% of the nation's production. Brussels sprouts grow in tall, sturdy stalks that can reach up to 1 meter in height, with dozens of compact green buds tightly clustered along the stem, making their harvest a task that requires both precision and specialized machinery. From September to March each year, the Brussels sprout fields in Flanders, the agricultural heart of Belgium, enter their harvest season. Farmers rely on specialized machines such as trailed Brussels sprout harvesters and self-propelled Brussels sprout harvesters. Inside, 6 rapidly rotating blades spin like a giant pencil sharpener, trimming each compact sprout and pushing the stalk forward. Every 6 seconds, 1 plant is fully processed. The Brussels sprouts are then cleaned by fans and filters before falling into the collection hopper. Thanks to scientific farming methods and highly efficient mechanization, Belgian farmers harvest more than 156 million pounds of Brussels sprouts each year, surpassing other countries such as the Netherlands, Germany, and the United Kingdom. Nearly 90% of the products we use every day contain sugar, and much of that sweetness begins in the sun-drenched sugarcane fields of Brazil, where farmers harvest around 650 million tons of cane each year. During the 2025 season, Brazilian farmers must race against time to cut and process sugarcane before it is sent for crushing and export. Before the 2000s, both American and Brazilian farmers commonly burned sugarcane fields before harvest, especially in São Paulo state, which produces more than half of Brazil's output. It might sound unusual, but the purpose was to remove dry leaves and unnecessary tops. This left the stalks cleaner, reduced excess debris such as fallen leaves, organic matter, and insects, and made manual cutting faster and more efficient. However, because of the enormous amount of smoke and harmful emissions it generated, Brazil has implemented a program to almost completely eliminate pre-harvest burning, shifting instead to mechanized green cane harvesting. But in the United States, especially in Florida, burning sugarcane before harvest is still common. If you were there, how would you explain the reason behind it? Against this backdrop, harvesting fresh, unburned sugarcane with modern machinery is increasingly being promoted and has quickly become the dominant path forward. Specialized harvesters cut the cane close to the ground while simultaneously stripping leaves and tops right in the field. The stalks are lifted onto trucks by conveyor belts and transported straight to the mills on the same day. If the harvest is delayed, the sugar content in the cane drops rapidly, making it prone to mold and pests, which reduces its market value. That is why Brazilian farmers always strive to deliver the cane to the mills within 24 hours to ensure the best quality. Across Europe, Russia, and the northern United States, vast sugar beet fields stretch endlessly, with the harvest season running from September to November. Modern sugar beet harvesters are massive self-propelled machines designed with high precision. At the front, lifting wheels or digging shares penetrate the soil, gently raising the beets from the ground without breaking them. Immediately afterward, fast-spinning knives slice off the green tops, which are left in the field as a natural fertilizer. The beets, once cleaned and neatly trimmed, travel along a conveyor system, passing through a series of rollers and cleaning turbines that remove excess soil and stones. Finally, they are deposited into a large holding tank on the machine. While sugarcane still dominates with nearly 80% of the world's sugar supply, sugar beets provide the remaining 20%, with the European Union, Russia, the United States, and Turkey among the leading producers. China dominates the global plum industry, producing more than 6 million tons annually, over half of the world's total output. From July to September each year, farmers race against time to harvest their fruit at peak ripeness. Harvesting plums requires a delicate balance between speed and care. In small orchards, workers pick by hand, gently twisting the fruit from the branches to preserve the thin skin and juicy flesh. The harvested plums are then collected into baskets and moved quickly to sorting stations. In larger farms, such as those in California, mechanical shakers are deployed. These machines grip the trunk or main branches, delivering powerful shakes that send ripe plums tumbling onto catching frames or padded nets below. The fruit is then sorted, graded, and packed within hours to maintain freshness. Beyond being eaten fresh, plums are dried into prunes, processed into jams, or fermented into wines and spirits. Altogether, the global plum and prune industry carries an economic value of more than 10 billion USD, giving this fruit cultural and commercial importance far beyond the orchard. With expectations of harvesting more than 190 million tons of tomatoes in the 2025 season, This crop is grown in over 170 countries, making it one of the most widely cultivated on the planet. Harvesting methods vary depending on their intended use. For fresh market tomatoes, farmers must harvest quickly during the peak season, typically from June to October. Workers hand-pick each fruit by gently twisting it off the vine and placing it into crates to protect the delicate skin. In contrast, processing tomatoes are harvested with mechanical tomato harvesters. These self-propelled machines cut entire plants at the base and feed them into an onboard system that strips away vines and leaves. Advanced optical sorters then separate ripe red fruit from green or damaged ones, discarding the latter. The selected tomatoes travel along conveyor belts into large holding bins before being transported directly to processing plants. Thanks to this technology, a single harvester can collect up to 60 tons of tomatoes per hour, replacing the labor of hundreds of workers. China, India, and the United States dominate global production, with California's Central Valley alone producing millions of tons each year, much of it destined for sauces, ketchup, and canned products. An industry worth nearly $190 billion worldwide, almost 19 times the value of the global plum and prune market. The sweet potato harvest season in the United States usually begins in September and lasts until November. In North Carolina, the state that produces the most sweet potatoes in the country, massive Lockwood sweet potato harvesters operate continuously across thousands of hectares. Beneath a nearly 6-meter-long steel frame, a system of spade-shaped digging blades penetrates 35 to 40 centimeters into the soil, gently lifting entire rows of sweet potatoes instead of churning them up. This approach minimizes mechanical impact, preserving the smooth skin and natural shape of each tuber. Next, a rubber conveyor chain system runs in sequence, catching the soil and potato mix, shaking off excess mud, and transferring the clean potatoes onto the upper belt. Within seconds, the soil is sifted away, and the potatoes are pre-sorted before being loaded directly into the storage bins at the rear. A single Lockwood harvester can cover 10 to 12 hectares per day, performing the work of more than 150 laborers, while maintaining over 90% of the potatoes intact. A testament to the precision and efficiency of modern American agricultural machinery. Kale, one of the winter season's true superfoods, is harvested in two completely different ways. On small farms, workers use both hands to strip the leaves downward from the top of the stem, carefully selecting the fresh, curly green ones while leaving behind the tough, older leaves. The harvested leaves are gathered into crates mounted on slow-moving tractors. This gentle manual method keeps the surface of the leaves intact, minimizing bruising and moisture loss, a crucial factor when the kale is graded under the U.S. No. 1 standard, which requires the leaves to be well-trimmed, unwilted, free from yellowing, and undamaged before being shipped to supermarkets or processed as fresh leaf kale. The second method is mechanized kale harvesting, where humans serve only as operators. Machines like the Ploger MKB4TR use high-speed rotating cutter bars that skim the soil surface, stripping all kale leaves in a single pass. Immediately after, dual intake rollers draw the leaves into a cutting chamber, where spinning blades chop them into uniform pieces before a 5-meter inclined conveyor lifts and blows the chopped kale into a trailer running alongside. Both vehicles are GPS synchronized, their speed, direction, and feed rhythm matched to the second for continuous, loss-free operation. Unlike hand-picked whole-leaf kale destined for supermarket shelves, mechanically harvested kale is intended for industrial processing. After collection, the leaves are washed, blanched, and individually quick-frozen (IQF) to become chopped frozen kale, a key ingredient in soups, smoothies, pizza toppings, and ready-to-eat frozen meals exported across Europe. Goodbye to cold Europe. We now head toward the blazing equatorial sun, to the endless pineapple fields of Costa Rica, where the fruit thrives all year round. Under the scorching tropical heat, hundreds of farmers bend between the sharp-leafed rows, carrying keranjang, traditional wicker baskets that can weigh up to 50 kilograms each. Every step is a challenge, as the pineapple leaves are razor-sharp and can slice through skin with just a moment's distraction. Even in this age of automation, pineapples must still be harvested by hand, slow, laborious, yet meticulous. And it is precisely that human care that keeps each fruit perfectly shaped, golden, and fragrant by the time it reaches consumers around the world. If there is one true innovation in pineapple harvesting, it would be these moving conveyor belts stretching across the fields. A large truck moves in sync with a steel frame nearly 30 meters long, fitted with continuously running rubber belts. Farmers simply twist the pineapples off the stalks and place them directly onto the belt gliding past, instead of carrying heavy sacks on their shoulders like before. Each pineapple is then transported straight into the truck's collection bins, minimizing bruising and damage. The system can handle 200 to 300 fruits per minute, saving labor, boosting efficiency, and preserving the flawless appearance essential for export-quality pineapples. Though still partly manual, this is considered the most advanced form of pineapple harvesting today, where human precision and mechanical rhythm work together to form a living assembly line across the tropical fields. The walnut harvest begins when the outer green husk naturally splits open, revealing nuts that have reached perfect dryness. In California, which produces over 99% of America's walnuts, hundreds of tree shakers roar to life across vast orchards. Each hydraulic arm grips the trunk tightly and delivers up to 3,000 pounds of shaking force, enough to drop nearly all the nuts in under 10 seconds. The orchard fills with a steady rattle, like a rainstorm of falling shells. Moments later, sweepers and harvesters move in, clearing dry leaves and lining the fallen nuts into neat rows. The golden brown walnuts are then vacuumed onto conveyors and sent straight to drying facilities, preserving their rich flavor and crisp texture. In just a few minutes, a tree heavy with fruit is completely released, a striking display of precision, power, and efficiency in modern mechanized agriculture. Along the shores of Lake Michigan, as a thin layer of morning mist still blankets the fields, hundreds of farmers set their low harvesting carts in motion, rolling slowly between perfectly straight rows of green asparagus. Moving at barely 0.5 kilometers per hour, the carts allow workers to carefully cut each spear as it emerges from the soil. Unlike white asparagus in Europe, which grows hidden beneath sand, Michigan's asparagus rises proudly under the sun, harvested when the stems reach 18 to 22 centimeters, the ideal length for a tender, crisp, and sweet texture. Each spear, once cut, is gently placed into plastic trays at the back of the cart and transported directly to processing facilities within 4 hours, before it loses its freshness and natural sugars. Today, Gerbera daisies are harvested by the Octinian Rubion robot, an automated picking arm often described as the most delicate worker in the greenhouse. Its slender mechanical arms, equipped with vision sensors and 3D cameras, scan along each row to identify flowers that have reached the perfect bloom, typically 70 to 80% open petals. The robot then lowers its soft silicone gripper, gently twists, and pulls the entire stem from the base without bending or bruising it. Operating at a pace of 1 flower per second, it works up to 5 times faster than a human picker. Each flower is neatly placed into transport trays and sent straight to an automated packaging station, where precision scanners measure length, diameter, and color to ensure every gerbera meets export standards. Thanks to this technology, every bloom that leaves the greenhouse remains flawless and vibrant, ready to supply the United States' massive $2 billion a year festival and floral market. In the mountainous farms of Oregon, where steep terrain, muddy slopes, and transport distances spanning dozens of kilometers make trucks nearly useless, light transport helicopters have become the true heroes of the Christmas tree harvest. Using a technique known as vertical reference flying, pilots look straight down through a floor window, maneuvering with centimeter-level precision as they lower cables and hook up each bundle of trees. With over 1,000 flights per day, these helicopters can move thousands of trees from the hillsides to collection points within just a few hours, without a single ground vehicle required. This method not only shortens the harvest time from several weeks to just a few days, but also greatly reduces environmental impact, cutting soil erosion and lowering fuel consumption by up to 60% compared to ground transport. Once delivered to the collection sites, each tree is rewrapped by high-speed spinning net machines. The flexible nylon mesh keeps every branch in place, preserving the perfect shape and freshness of the trees for their long journey toward markets across the United States. Cashew nuts are among the most valuable and sought-after nuts during year-end celebrations. When the ripe red cashew apples fall and cover the ground, farmers collect each fruit by hand, then skillfully extract the nut using a simple wooden post and cord, looping the shell between the supports and processing each one with a careful precision. What seems like a simple task is in fact the greatest obstacle to mechanization. The shell of the cashew nut contains anacardic acid oil, a highly corrosive substance. Even the smallest crack can cause the oil to leak out, burning the skin and spoiling entire batches of nuts. For this reason, human hands remain the most delicate and reliable tool in the entire cashew harvest, capable of performing with the care that no machine has yet been able to match, even in harvests that yield several tons. Across the vast fields of Wisconsin, where rows of red cabbage have tightly curled after 3 months of growth, semi-automatic record harvesters roar to life. At the front, a pair of hydraulic gripping arms clasp the stems firmly and lift each plant cleanly from the soil, leaving behind neat brown furrows stretching across the field. As the stalks rise from the ground, a rotating disc blade drops down to slice off the roots just a few centimeters below the base. The cabbages are then guided onto an angled conveyor, passing through a gentle shaking system that removes soil and outer leaves. On both sides of the belt, workers fine-tune each head, trimming excess leaves before dropping them into a loading chute connected to a trailer moving alongside. From these very fields, hundreds of containers of American red cabbage make their way to markets for the festive season, destined for fresh salads, creamy coleslaw, and the signature pickled red cabbage that brightens Christmas tables across the United States. These Pleger pea viners are the true giants, the ultimate masters of the industrial green pea world. Standing over 4 meters tall and stretching nearly 12 meters long, they operate like advanced mobile factories across the fields. In just 1 hour, a single giant can sweep through nearly 10 hectares, harvesting tens of tons of fresh peas, an efficiency that hundreds of manual laborers could hardly match. Yet, sheer power alone doesn't define the Pleger's true class. What sets it apart is its near-perfect mechanical sophistication. At the front, the low-cutting header gently taps the pea plants, lifting each cluster without bruising the pods. Immediately afterward, a spiral conveyor draws the entire plant into the vining drum, where rotating cylinders and vibrating sieves work in harmony, strong enough to separate the peas, yet delicate enough to keep each tender green pearl intact and glossy. Inside the machine's body, streams of compressed air and circulating wind remove leaves, stems, and husks, leaving behind only the plump, vibrant peas that tumble into a massive rear hopper. Once full, a hydraulic arm swings out to unload the peas directly into an accompanying truck, allowing the entire operation to run continuously without a single pause. Thanks to these colossal harvesters, the Netherlands leads Europe in industrial pea production, accounting for over 30% of the region's total, reaffirming its status as one of the world's most advanced agricultural powerhouses. On traditional strawberry farms, the rhythm of harvest unfolds slowly yet precisely, guided by the skilled hands of experienced pickers. Hand-picking ensures that each berry is harvested at its perfect ripeness, with its green stem intact, skin glossy, and natural fragrance preserved. Among rows of lush green leaves, farmers gently lift each strawberry, give it a slight twist, and pluck it from the stem, a motion that seems simple but demands absolute finesse. Once a basket is full, the fruit is immediately taken to a cooling station, racing against time to lock in its freshness and sweetness. But inside high-tech greenhouses, autonomous robotic arms are gradually replacing human hands, marking the pinnacle of modern agriculture. Equipped with multispectral AI cameras and 3D sensors, these robots can detect ripeness by analyzing the hue of red and surface gloss, then command soft grippers to gently pick each berry and place it carefully into collection trays. Despite the steep investment, over $300,000 for a complete robotic system, these machines represent a bold leap forward, bringing agriculture ever closer to an era of intelligent and fully automated farming. This John Deere tractor is carving perfect furrows into the arid soils of Arizona with a massive 16-meter wide industrial bed, former equipped with GPS guidance and auto-track automation, accurate to within just 2 centimeters. With each pass, more than 30 steel plow blades drop simultaneously, tilling, turning, and shaping the soil into perfectly even raised beds, an ideal foundation for crops like potatoes, onions, carrots, melons, and peanuts. In just 1 hour, this powerhouse can form over 15,000 furrows across more than 20 hectares, saving over 80% of the time and fuel compared to traditional methods, a clear testament to the power of mechanization in modern desert agriculture. The rocky, uneven lands that once took farmers weeks to clear by hand have now been completely conquered by the power of industrial rock pickers. With their dual helix tines and hydraulic collection conveyors, these machines act like massive mobile filters moving across the fields. As they advance, dozens of rotating tines dig deep into the soil, digging, rolling, and sifting each layer to separate rocks from earth in a single pass. Stones ranging from 5 to 60 centimeters are gathered by the spiral scoop, then gently carried up a hydraulic conveyor into the rear hopper, where they are compacted and dumped into trucks within seconds. Widely used in Canada, the US, and several European countries, these machines represent the quiet yet crucial first step of every growing season, laying the perfect foundation for the first green shoots to rise from soil that's clean, level, and flawless down to the last centimeter. Not as massive as potato planters or grain harvesters, rice transplanters are compact machines built for precision. Equipped with floating crawler tracks and specialized anti-sinking systems, they're perfectly adapted to the muddy, waterlogged terrain of paddy fields. As the machine moves forward, its synchronized mechanical arms work in perfect rhythm, each motion separating a small cluster of seedlings and planting it into the soil at 30-centimeter intervals, creating perfectly aligned rows of rice. Each transplanter can replace over 30 manual laborers, covering 1 hectare of field in under an hour, 10 times faster than hand transplanting, while boosting yields by 20 to 30% thanks to uniform spacing and precise planting depth. And when harvest season arrives, that mechanical rhythm continues, now stronger and more decisive, with the arrival of the mighty combine harvesters. Across Japan's rice fields, compact Kubota combine harvesters weave through narrow paddies, their floating tracks gliding over the mud without leaving deep marks. At the front, high-speed cutting blades shear the rice stalks close to the ground, feeding them into the rotating threshing chamber, where fans and vibrating sieves separate the grains from the straw. The chopped straw is then evenly spread back over the field, serving as both mulch to retain moisture and natural fertilizer for the next crop. Operating on the same principle but with far greater capacity, machines like the John Deere S-Series, Class Lexion, and New Holland CR Revelation stand as symbols of agricultural power in the US, Europe, and Australia. Each of these giants, over 4 meters tall and nearly 12 meters long, can process up to 50 tons of rice per hour, working tirelessly day and night with near-perfect precision. Thanks to these mechanical marvels, the global rice industry now produces over 750 million tons each year, feeding more than half of the world's population. In California's garlic fields this October, the air buzzes with the roar of colossal self-propelled harvesters, tirelessly turning over the sun-baked soil. At the front, a V-shaped digger blade cuts deep into the earth, lifting each bulb to the surface, while vibrating conveyors and centrifugal fans work in harmony to remove soil, roots, and dried leaves. With every pass, tons of garlic are gathered and poured directly into waiting trucks, turning the harvest into a symphony of steel. Powerful, precise, and commanding. Yet amid this mechanical rhythm, small organic farms still quietly endure in the valleys of Gilroy. There, each clove of garlic is still hand-pulled, gently brushed clean, and neatly laid out to dry under the sun, not only to preserve its natural flavor, but also as a humble tribute to the land that has nourished generations of farmers. Gliding across fields blanketed in delicate white chamomile blooms is a specialized harvesting machine, the chamomile harvester, designed specifically for this fragile yet precious plant. Unlike most herbs, chamomile cannot be harvested with rough cutting blades, as even slight pressure can bruise the flowers and cause essential oil loss. Instead, the machine is equipped with a low-speed rotating drum lined with hundreds of soft rubber fingers that gently comb and separate the blossoms from their stems without damaging the petals. At the rear, a vacuum system immediately transfers the freshly picked flowers into a sealed collection chamber, where cool air, maintained below 20 degrees Celsius, preserves their natural essential oil content, the key factor that determines chamomile's value in the herbal tea, cosmetics, and premium pharmaceutical industries. Once the hopper is full, the flowers are unloaded into transport trucks and taken directly to cold drying and oil extraction facilities. Each year, over 70,000 tons of chamomile flowers are harvested across Europe and North Africa. thanks largely to these precision mechanized systems that elevate each tiny bloom into part of a billion-dollar industry. This season marks the peak harvest for hard-shelled squash varieties like kabocha and butternut. Specialized harvesters equipped with hydraulic lifting arms, stem-cutting blades, and steel spiral conveyors can gather and load tons of squash in a single pass. Their tough rinds make them highly impact-resistant, allowing the machines to cut, roll, and load the fruits directly into transport bins, replacing dozens of workers and reducing harvest time to just 1/10 of traditional methods.